Service learning has become an important element in the community college. This presentation will consider service learning, both in its definition and in its implementation at Brevard Community College. Service learning is considered at Brevard Community College in the ways that it connects the classroom to the community. The purpose of the presentation is threefold. First, we'll explain exactly what service learning is. We'll look closely at Brevard Community College's Center for Service Learning and the program that they have successfully established at that college. Lastly, we'll describe the potential positive and negative effects of service learning in the community college environment. First of all, let's talk about what service learning actually is. Service learning is a way of incorporating or blending community service work with learning in a classroom. In theory, the community service in which students engage will add an extra layer of understanding and provide opportunities for reflection in the learning process, deepening students' understanding and elevating their enthusiasm and the potential for further learning beyond the college classroom. In courses with a volunteer component, service is a direct part of the learning process, and a clear link is drawn between the text and classroom instruction and real-world environments, settings, and problems. Service learning is often seen as a way of reaching beyond stiff, abstract learning outcomes and creating what Cohen and Brower call frameworks of learning. Hussey and Smith, discussing best practices in student education and the creation of dynamic, relevant learning outcomes, suggest that real learning must be sensitive to different contexts. It must engage students and allow them to draw on experiences rather than abstract knowledge if they want to assume responsibility for their learning. Service learning strives to address those goals, giving the opportunity for students to experience real-world contexts that will engage them and will encourage them to shape their own learning experience in a more mature and responsible way, supporting the final educational goal of the community college and of the education system as a whole. The presence of student service learning is significant at community colleges across the nation. According to Cohen and Brower, in 2006, a third of community college students participated in volunteers and service learning work. Those students engaged an average of around 5.6 hours per week. Although specific figures are not available for more recent study, the number of students participating in service learning seems to be increasing as increased interest spreads throughout the community college. At Brevard Community College, service learning has been instituted since 1988. In that time, over 60,000 students have participated in the service learning program provided by the college. Those students volunteered more than 2.2 million hours at more than 350 community organizations who partner with Brevard Community College. You may have heard of so many of the nonprofit organizations at which students provide their services and learn new skills. According to Brevard Community College's website, some examples of those organizations include the American Cancer Society, Big Brothers Big Sisters, Brevard Alzheimer's Foundation, the March of Dimes, Meals on Wheels, the Salvation Army, the YMCA, and many others. Within those organizations, students are able to practice abstract learning and classroom knowledge in real-life situations, creating frameworks of learning on which they may add individual bits of knowledge and take deeper understanding into their careers and perhaps even into their university or advanced degree programs. According to Brevard Community College, the college boasts one of the best service learning programs in the country. They serve as an example to other community colleges and encourage other institutions to replicate their program by selling pre-made forms, templates, syllabi, handbooks, and other resources for creating service learning programs. Brevard Community College even trains leaders from other community colleges in the means of establishing a service learning program or in ways of improving current programs at other community colleges. The director of Brevard Community College's Center for Service Learning, Evelyn Young, had this to say about their program. Brevard Community College's service learning program has phenomenal impacts on the community, the college, and especially the students. Our program is a national model and leader in the field, and it continues to achieve recognition for its decades-long tradition of excellence. At the programs at Brevard Community College, students are offered 4 primary ways to get involved in service learning. The college offers standalone courses focused on student learning. Community service can also be a component of a quote-unquote regular course. Students are offered the opportunity for an extra 4th credit, and students are always welcomed and encouraged to engage in individual volunteering outside of the classroom for non-credit, a practice supported by faculty and administrators alike. First, let's take a look at the standalone courses offered by Brevard Community College. In standalone courses, community service is the main focus of the content. In the human experience courses, students are required to complete 20 hours of community service. There are 3 seminars with a faculty instructor, as well as an assigned written and reflective work to help students understand, think about, and apply their experience between the classroom and the community. Other possible requirements for these courses include the creation of a service learning plan, maintaining a daily journal or essay as a reflective activity, or creating a reflective paper and/or oral presentation. These human experience courses are offered for 1 credit each. A second option, SOW 2054 Community Involvement, is a 3-credit course and will actually satisfy a social science general education requirement for Brevard Community College students. According to the college website, this course, quote, examines the principles and features of service learning. The course consists of 32 hours of community service, 24 hours of a seminar with a faculty instructor, and a written requirement, which may again include journals, essays, or other reflective writing methods intended to combine academic and community learning. Another option is for faculty to incorporate service learning into 1 or more of their regular courses. This is an option that many instructors at Brevard Community College are utilizing, and the option is highly encouraged. More than 140 faculty members currently offer service learning as a part of their courses at Brevard Community College. 325 course sections contain service learning's requirements or options, usually for somewhere between 5 and 40% of the total grade, with 15 to 40 hours of volunteer work involved. Some of the examples of the way that service learning can be incorporated into regular courses are listed here. For example, in a biology course, students might volunteer at a zoo or work with an environmental organization. In a sociology course, students could volunteer at a women's shelter, a homeless shelter, or even work at a crisis hotline. In an education course, students might tutor children in schools or help out with a Boys and Girls Club or Big Brothers Big Sisters activity. They might also tutor peers at a tutoring center on campus. Or, in an English course, the possibilities for volunteering are almost endless, as long as the student writes about their experience in a reflective journal or essay that allows them to practice English and clear communication skills in coordination with their volunteer or service learning experience. Brevard Community College offers the opportunity for students to add a 4th credit to a regular course as well. This option includes a 1-hour elective that can be taken with over 35 different disciplines. The additional credit is earned through practical application of classroom learning. Students are allowed to add an additional credit up to 3 times, and the elective must be taken with a regular class. Brevard Community College's Center for Student Learning connects to students and employees with opportunities to serve the community in other ways as well. The center will connect volunteers with organizations where they can volunteer individually. Other avenues include service learning leadership, short-term projects, special projects, employee service projects, and dual enrollment service learning. The Center for Service Learning acts as a clearinghouse and central contact point to connect students and faculty at Brevard Community College with a wide variety of opportunities for service learning, personal enrichment, and the application of classroom learning in a real-world environment intended to enrich the student's educational experience. But why would Brevard Community College, and so many other community colleges across the nation and the world, invest time and money in creating a service learning program for their students? There are many, many benefits, not only to the students, but to the faculty, the college, and even the communities in which these colleges operate. First of all, let's take a look at the benefits for the students who participate in service learning. There are almost too many benefits to students to easily list or explain, although many of those benefits are still being researched in order to accurately document their assistance to students. In this presentation, we've listed the benefits that we thought were most important for students. According to Prentice and Robinson, student learning outcomes such as critical thinking, communication, abilities in career and teamwork, global understanding and citizenship, and overall academic development are improved when students participate in service learning. There's also an advantage for students over others when applying for jobs beyond college, because the students who participate in service learning have real-life experience to show on their resumes. They have also frequently had opportunity for networking in the organizations in which they have volunteered. Students who volunteer in a career field or major in which they are interested also have an advantage, because they are able to see firsthand what it is like to work in that field before they graduate with a degree and seek out employment. Knowing whether you love or loathe the field you plan to work in for the rest of your life is incredibly valuable information to have before graduation, and service learning provides an opportunity to find that out. Not only that, in a booming economy, students may have more opportunity for internships or field-related part-time work, but in a down economy, paid opportunities for experience decline, and many students struggle with a lack of experience. Nonprofit organizations are generally eager to accept volunteers during any kind of economy, and through a college program screening, those community services are guaranteed to match with students' learning objectives and needs. Through student learning, through service learning, students are able to gain field experience no matter the condition of the economy. Beyond formal career training, service learning also provides rich benefits for students as individuals and as academic learners. Peters and al. tells us that students' self-image improves and a sense of achievement and connection to others is found through service learning activity. Not only that, service learning activity improves classroom outcomes. It increases the ability for students to work and learn independently, as well as enriching classroom knowledge by allowing students to apply, explore, and discover how to create projects in the real world with real consequences and outcomes that they might not find in a classroom environment. Not only that, service learning has been shown to improve student critical thinking skills, one of the foundational desires of many educators, and according to many community college researchers, one of the skills which is frequently most lacking in modern students. Many of the benefits for students overlap into benefits for faculty as well. Any true learning experience is a transaction between a teacher and a learner. Often, those roles are reversed. Allowing students to have service learning experience engages students in the learning activity. It allows them to have enthusiastic discussions, which benefits the faculty. Faculty's classroom discussions are livelier, and they form stronger relationships with students. Furthermore, faculty benefit because students' volunteer experiences transfer into real-life opportunities for reflection and discussion in the classroom. Not only that, the students are enthusiastic to discuss topics and delve deeper into the material because they have a first-hand experience. They see a tangible way to apply what they're learning in their classroom to their experience in the field. Simonette also notes that, through service learning, students are given control over their learning experience, a factor which new educational research implies is more and more important in students engaging and retaining information that is presented in the classroom. Like any endeavor at a community college, service learning requires support, cooperation, and funding. In order to have a successful service learning program at any school, administrators, board members, faculty, supporters, community need to buy in. How does service learning benefit the college? Brevard Community College works with over 350 local agencies for their students to volunteer. This kind of far-reaching, county-wide network perpetuates a positive attitude toward the college. If the college has an effective service learning program, students are routinely volunteering at organizations across the area, and those students are leaving positive impressions with organizations, the perception of the college and of the students improves, and the partnership between colleges and local organizations is strengthened. Not only that, but positive image often encourages potential students to come to local community colleges rather than seeking out educational opportunities further afield. Seeking out educational opportunities is only the beginning. Retention has become a major issue in recent years in community colleges. Simonette explains that because of student satisfaction and engagement increasing with service learning, student retention also increases as students find themselves more engaged not only in their courses, but in the activities of their college and their community as well. Students feel through service learning that they are gaining knowledge, and they become more eager to continue to finish their degree. Other benefits from service learning for the college include a reorientation of the education process to focus on the human needs, not only of the community, but also of the college community. It also allows students to be better prepared to apply their learning in real-life work, creating positive employment outcomes for the college, a factor which is often tracked by local and state governments in funding community colleges. Naturally, in any benefit to the community college comes a benefit to the community itself. That benefit includes increased access to college resources, meaning organizations are able to tap into the large numbers of students, experience, backgrounds, and expertise housed at their local college. This translates to more contribution to meet human needs in the community and in the college community, as well as an increased pool of human resources for solving community problems and meeting community needs. Not only that, when students graduate and apply for jobs, they provide a great benefit to business and organizations. Those businesses and organizations are able to consider candidates who have real-life experiences and look at applicants who learned through service learning as well as the classroom, rather than learning solely through information provided in a classroom setting. Service learners have had the hands-on experience. Classroom learners may have learned only theory and never been able to apply that theory to real-world situations. When more students are exposed to individuals outside of their own socioeconomic background, outside of their own social class, they form a new empathy and understanding for human beings and the human condition. Service learning provides an opportunity to begin to create a society that is more empathetic and more tolerant of one another. That sense of empathy, understanding of human need, and tolerance for different points of view is an endless benefit to the community, to the culture, and to the world as a whole. But all of that may be seen as idealistic. Does service learning have any disadvantages, any pitfalls? If it is so wonderful, why has it not been integrated into every community college? There are some disadvantages to service learning. Simonette explains that studies show mixed results for how students' GPAs are affected by service learning. Although the research does not explain that question of GPA neutrality, it is possible that if faculty do not directly tie service learning experiences into classroom activities and taught ideas, students may either spend too much time engaged in service learning or not see its direct coordination with classroom material, which directly affects their grades. Peters also tells us that faculty and administrators must bear a new burden to truly engage in service learning. They must coordinate with students and organizations extensively, which requires a great deal of time, increases faculty workload, and may be seen as by some faculty as managing rather than teaching, an activity which may not appeal and or may make faculty less interested in including service learning within their actual classrooms. That increased obligation, commitment, and creation of connection also ties into communication issues. Volunteer sites must communicate effectively with schools, students, and faculty, not only to schedule service learning experiences, but also to track student engagement, participation, and adequate performance. Students as service learners are, in a way, employees, and just as any employee has good and bad performance, faculty must actively track student performance, and coordinating and communicating with outside sites and businesses may serve to be a great challenge. Additionally, students may not always be eager to volunteer. If students are forced to volunteer by an instructor, a student may not be interested or enthusiastic about the volunteer work. A negative volunteer is unlikely to provide good service or to learn a great deal from his experience. A poor student volunteer, furthermore, may spread negativity throughout other service learners, and she may cause difficulties in obtaining the learning outcomes that are desired by the service learning experience. In fact, those negative effects may even trickle out into the community. Interestingly, Peters describes the fact that faculty or students may be forced to leave their comfort zone as one of the disadvantages of service learning. Pointing that out as a disadvantage is interesting because although it certainly may cause hesitation or even be seen as a negative aspect of service learning, it may also be seen as a very valuable advantage, providing a variety of opportunity and forcing people to forge those bonds of empathy and human understanding which form one of the great advantages of service learning. Understanding what service is and how it looks like in one example of Brevard Community College, a successful center for service learning, it's easy to see the advantages and disadvantages of service learning. Is implementing a service learning program worth the trouble? Do the pros outweigh the cons? Are the numerous positive outcomes for students, faculty, the college, and the community enough to justify the extensive time and effort required on the part of faculty and administrators? Should community colleges simply hang back and wait for more documentation of exactly how service learning impacts outcomes and student performance? Service learning taps deeply into the underlying ethos of the community college. By engaging students in their communities, it prepares them to engage in those communities as workers and social participants. Programs like the one in place at Brevard Community College hint at the potential of service learning as a means of teaching students. And although the details of its effective implementation and its overall outcomes have yet to be adequately studied, service learning may indeed prove to be one of the keys to keeping the community college alive and relevant in the changing educational world of the 21st century. It is a learning strategy that cannot be ignored and should be further investigated for its potential in making the community college truly the colleges of the community.